The ROG Ally X, released in 2024, may not be the revolutionary sequel that fans were hoping for, but it's a clear step in the right direction for Asus. Rather than being a true successor to the original ROG Ally, Asus has positioned it as more of a mid-range refresh. While this updated model does introduce some meaningful improvements, it also highlights areas where the ROG Ally 2 could go much further, especially in terms of battery life, software optimization, and overall usability. The ROG Ally X provides a taste of what Asus can achieve, but it also leaves plenty of room for growth in the next generation of handheld gaming devices. One of the most significant criticisms of the original ROG Ally was its poor battery life. Even with careful management of settings, users could only squeeze out about 2 hours and 25 minutes of heavy gaming, and that's with the system locked at 30 FPS in silent mode. Switching to turbo mode, which boosts performance, reduced playtime to about an hour or less. This is a significant drawback for a device marketed as a high-end gaming handheld. By comparison, Valve's Steam Deck can deliver a more consistent gaming experience, with battery life ranging from 1.5 hours to as much as 5 hours, depending on the game and settings. This disparity made battery life a critical pain point for the ROG Ally, and one that Asus clearly needed to address with the next model. The ROG Ally X shows that Asus has taken this feedback seriously. The new model doubles the original's battery life, bringing it closer to 3 hours of use on average, depending on the game and performance settings. While this is a noticeable improvement, it still doesn't put the Ally X on par with the Steam Deck, particularly for more demanding games. For Asus to truly compete in this space, the ROG Ally 2 will need to take things even further. Ideally, we would like to see the next model reach 3 to 5 hours of battery life, even under more taxing conditions. To achieve this, Asus will likely need to make both hardware and software improvements, including upgrading the system on chip, society, and increasing battery capacity. Without addressing these issues, Ally 2 may struggle to stand out against its competitors. Another area where the ROG Ally has room to grow is in its use of Microsoft Windows as the operating system. On paper, Windows should give the Ally a significant advantage over competitors like the Steam Deck, which runs on a customized version of Linux. Windows offers broader game compatibility and easier access to third-party stores and applications, theoretically allowing players to enjoy a wider range of titles without the limitations of compatibility layers like Valve's Proton. However, the reality is more complicated, and the execution has been far from perfect. While Asus worked with Microsoft to tweak the Windows experience for the ROG Ally's handheld format, many of these changes feel incomplete or poorly implemented. For instance, navigating the Windows interface with Ally's controls can be cumbersome. The D-pad and left joystick don't allow users to type in letters, leaving them reliant on the touchscreen or the right joystick's cursor, which tends to be overly sensitive. Switching between apps also requires touch input or awkward cursor emulation, which detracts from the overall experience. Also, while games that support gamepads work well enough, those designed for keyboard and mouse controls can be frustrating to play. The right joystick emulates a mouse cursor, but it's not responsive enough for most gaming scenarios, making the experience feel clunky. There is also a virtual keyboard, but it's far from ideal for gaming on the go. This is an area where Asus could really improve with the ROG Ally 2. Either Asus or Microsoft needs to provide better support for handheld gaming by offering more seamless controller profiles and button mapping options for games that don't natively support gamepads. While there are community-built solutions available, it's unreasonable to expect users to rely on hacks and workarounds to get their games working smoothly. For Ally 2, Asus should invest in creating official game profiles and more intuitive control schemes, or else risk losing out to the Steam Deck, which benefits from a far more user-friendly operating system in SteamOS. In addition to Windows-related improvements, the ROG Ally 2 could also benefit from a major overhaul of Asus software, particularly the Armoury Crate SE app. This app is designed to be the central hub for launching games, managing settings, and optimizing performance, but it's been plagued by issues since launch. Many users report that it's slow to respond to input, crashes frequently, and often requires resetting just to function properly. Given that it's supposed to be the heart of the gaming experience on the ROG Ally, these issues are a significant disappointment. Compared to SteamOS, which offers a more intuitive and stable gaming environment, Armoury Crate falls short. For the ROG Ally 2 to succeed, Asus needs to not only improve the Windows experience but also ensure that Armoury Crate is as polished and reliable as possible. Looking ahead, Asus has confirmed that a true successor to the ROG Ally is on the horizon, but it may still be a few years away. The company has stated that it wants to follow a similar strategy to Valve, focusing on releasing a new generation only when it can offer a significant performance boost, rather than making incremental updates. This means that we're unlikely to see the ROG Ally 2 until at least 2025, potentially around the same time as the next Steam Deck. However, if Asus can address the issues with battery life, Windows optimization, and Armoury Crate, the ROG Ally 2 could be well worth the wait.